The Optima MX touchscreen is a very simple interface designed to make your chairside work faster and easier. The display is a touchscreen or touchpad similar to a Palm Pilot. The touchpad is waterproof and can be sprayed and cleaned with a damp wipe-up. The display has two major screens and one secondary screen. The two major screens are the high-speed screen, which is the default screen you will see when you turn the system on. The other major screen is the low-speed screen. The secondary screen is memory settings. Let's have a look at the first major screen, the high-speed screen. There are several options here. Top left is contra angle. By touching the contra angle option, we bring up the contra angle screen. Here we see 5 pre-programmed contra angle selections for speed increase ratios, direct ratios, and as reduction ratios. The Optima MX does not require a reduction ratio since the handpiece will slow down to a speed of 100 RPM. However, if you have existing reduction ratios, either from BNR or any other company, they can be used with the Optima MX system. It is also important to note that you must enter the correct contra angle when setting up your Optima MX system. This will not only give you the correct burr speed, the contra angle ratio will be critical to the function of other features of the system. For our high-speed function, let's select a speed increase ratio of 1:5. Notice that the speed increase choice is shown as a red bar in the contra angle selection area of the main screen. The next icon on the high-speed screen at the top is light intensity. Touching that area takes you to light intensity adjustment. You can increase or decrease the handpiece work light intensity as desired by simply touching the plus or minus on the light intensity screen. When you've got it, simply touch the bottom of the screen, which takes you back to the default main screen, the high-speed screen. The next area we'll look at on the high-speed screen is speed selection. Right now, it's set for 200,000 RPM. Touching the speed selection area brings up the speed selection settings screen. Notice that there are 4 preset choices and the current speed value is shown. If none of the presets are right for you, touch the current value area at the bottom of the screen and another screen pops up, the user-defined speed screen. Just enter the desired speed on the keypad, let's say 12,500, and touch OK. 12,500 is now the running speed of your handpiece. To quickly go back to maximum speed, just touch the speed readout on the screen and the 4 presets will pop up. Select a preset or a new speed by touching current value and you're back to work. You can also increase or decrease speed from this screen by simply touching the plus or minus area of the screen, and the speed will move up or down in 25,000 RPM increments. Just below the plus and minus signs, you'll see a torque setting. The torque setting for high speed will always be 100%. Next is pedal mode, on-off or variable. When pedal mode on-off is selected, touching the foot pedal will immediately bring the handpiece to the selected RPMs. Selecting variable will allow the operator to use the foot pedal to change handpiece speed by varying foot pressure. You can also change the direction of the motor in the high-speed screen by touching either the forward or the reverse icons. When reverse is selected, the speed bar will turn red. All of the settings we have just shown you, contra angle speed, light intensity, torque, pedal mode, and motor direction, can be remembered. Touch the memory icon at the top center of this screen, and up pops the memory screen. Touch one of the memory icons, and the information just entered is saved, in this case as memory number 2. Back to the high-speed screen, highlighted by the hair. You can go directly to the slow-speed screen by touching the tortoise. Many of the options on the slow-speed screen are the same as the high-speed. Contra angle selection, light intensity, speed, torque control, and auto reverse. For contra angle selection, touch the contra angle icon and you can select any of the preset low speed angles, 1:1, 10:1, or 30:1, or define another specific ratio. For instance, if you have a 16:1 reduction angle, touch the first box of the user-defined area of the touchscreen, which brings up the keypad. Simply enter the appropriate number, tap OK. Now touch the second ratio box, up comes the keypad, enter 1, OK, and you have the appropriate reduction angle. In the upper left corner of the slow speed screen, the contra angle selection is shown with a green bar for speed reduction angles and a blue bar for 1:1 ratios. Since the BNR system does not require a reduction angle, we'll demonstrate using a 1:1 gear ratio. Light intensity is adjusted on the slow speed screen the same way as the high speed. Just tap the light icon and adjust by tapping the plus or minus areas of the screen. Speed is adjusted the same way as it is on the high speed screen. Tap the RPM icon to bring up that screen. Speed can then be adjusted by selecting from the presets or touching the current value area of the screen and entering the value you want. Let's say 230. Touch OK, and you have your desired speed. You can tap the plus or minus icons for increments of 100 RPM at a time. Select Auto Reverse On, and now we can set torque level by touching the torque level value. There are 10 presets, or you can enter a specific value. In this case, we'll change the value from 10 to 12%. On the slow speed screen, you can change the direction of the motor when RPMs and torque reach a certain level. In this case, RPM 230 and torque level 12%. When the contra angle reaches a speed of 230 RPM and torque of 12%, the motor will automatically reverse direction. If at that point you'd like the motor to reverse briefly and then continue in forward mode, select the on icon in the auto forward area of the touchscreen. A clock will pop up, which will allow you to set the length of the reverse mode. In this case, we'll select a half second. Making the entry brings us back to our main slow speed screen. Now, when the contra angle reaches a speed of 230 RPM with 12% torque, it will automatically reverse for 1/2 second and then continue forward. All of those entries we just made can be remembered by the Optima MX by simply touching the memory icon at the top of the screen and then touching any one of the 5 memory storage files. This setting is now saved and can be recalled at any time by touching the appropriate memory icon. When the contra angle achieves the requisite RPM and torque levels and the motor reverses, the blue speed bar indicator goes red and the light on the handpiece will flash, indicating that direction has reversed. Let's take this opportunity to discuss the memory screen. Notice that the memory icon at the top of the screen shows the memory that is currently selected. Touching the icon brings up the memory screen. There are 5 memory positions available. To change or update the memory, touch the small diskette icon to the right of the preset number. If there is information already stored in that memory slot, you will get a message, "Do you want to replace this memory?" Tap OK, and the memory is updated with the new information. Memory number 1, for example, could be set for high-speed procedures. Memory number 2 could be set for slow-speed procedures. Memory number 3, endo. Memory number 4, implant, and so on. Notice that the memory you have selected appears at the top of the screen. To change a setting or a group of settings, simply make the new entries. To reset the memory positions to the factory default settings, go to the memory screen, touch the Reset button. When asked if you want to restore the default values, touch OK. That's all there is to the touchscreen interface. Now, let's make the final adjustments so you can get to work. We'll need to adjust the air pressure of the unit. Select 1:1 contra angle ratio, and then select 40,000 RPM. Completely depress your foot control and adjust the air pressure until the digital display reads 40,000 RPM. When the motor is at 40,000 RPM, check the airflow at the end of the motor with the flow meter. Airflow should be a minimum of 8 NL per minute. If necessary, adjust the air pressure to reach this minimum. Next, adjust the water spray so there is a mist coming from the handpiece rather than a stream. Your Optima MX is now ready for work. To turn the display off, go to the memory screen. Touch the off icon at the bottom. To come back to the last setting, touch the screen and the information comes back.